Hello everyone, welcome to Roots Dental Academy. Today we are here with a brief lecture on Facebook, which is a frequent topic in pre-PG examinations and is often difficult for the students to understand. So here we are with a presentation to make it easily understandable for you. Let's begin with it. First of all, let's discuss the definition of Facebook. According to Boucher's 11th edition, the Facebook is a caliper-like device that is used to record the relationship of the jaws to the temporomandibular joint or the opening axis of the jaws and to orient the cars in the same relationship to the opening axis. So here we can see that this is the Facebook assembly which is used to record the opening axis of the jaw and transfer it to the articulator so that the same could be replicated. The purpose of phase bow. What is actually the purpose? The relation of the maxilla to the opening and the closing axis is determined by phase bow. As the relationship of the maxilla to the TMJ is not same in all persons, as the anatomy of the maxilla and the TMJ joint varies from person to person, and this is what the logic is behind the recording orientation jaw relation using the phase bow. As we can see here that this is the phase bow transfer, the phase bow, and the same is transferred and replicated using the articulator. So what happens that the opening and closing axis of the jaw, how the jaw opens and closes around the hinge axis, is transferred and replicated to the articulator so that the exact occlusion can be achieved while delivering the prosthesis. Now the parts of the phase bow. The phase bow is an accessory that comes with an articulator. It is composed of several adjustable pieces that are assembled together. Basically, it is constructed, it has a U-shaped bow frame, the condylar rods, pointer, which may be orbital or nasal, bite fork, and the locking device. So this is the phase bow assembly in which we have the following parts. We'll discuss the parts in detail. First is a U-shaped frame. It's a U-shaped metallic bar that forms the main frame of the bow. All other components are attached to the frame with the help of the clamps. This frame records the plane of the cranium. As you can see, this is the U-shaped frame, and this frame helps in attaching all the components, and the clamps are used for it, for attaching it. This frame records the plane of the cranium. Second is the condylar rod. These are two metallic rods on either side of the free end of the U-shaped frame that contacts the skin over TMJ. These condylar rods help to locate the hinge axis or the opening axis of the TMJ. Phase bows that have a condylar rod to record true hinge axis are known as kinematic phase bows, and that do not record the true hinge axis are called the arbitrary phase bows. So here in the previous diagram, we can see that these are the condylar rods. This is the U-shaped frame and the continuation is known as the condylar rod. Now the question arises, what is hinge axis? Hinge axis is a horizontal axis around which the condyle rotates during the opening and closing movement up to a range of 20 to 25 millimeter. It is the horizontal or transverse axis where a pure rotation of condyles takes place prior to translation of condyle. So we can see that the hinge axis is the imaginary line, is the axis which is passing through the center of the condyles. So when the person opens his mouth up to a range of 20 to 25 millimeter, only the rotatory movement of the condyles take place. There is just the pure rotation of the condyles. When the person opens his mouth more than this range, then the translation begins. So hinge axis is actually the axis passing through the middle of the condyles when the opening of the mouth is in the range 20 to 25 millimeter. Next is the bite fork. This is the U-shaped plate which is attached to the occlusal rim while recording the orientation relation. This is the bite fork. This is known as bite fork because we ask the patient to bite on it either with the help of impression compound or the impression material, or the occlusal rim is attached to it in case of the edentulous patients, and the bite fork is has a stem attached to it. Now next is the locking device. It attaches the bite fork to the U-shaped frame. It consists of two rods. One is the vertical transfer rod and one is the transverse rod. The position of this transverse rod can be held with locked with the help of a thumb screw. So here we can, as we can see, that there are three screws. These three screws helps in locking these rods, transfer rods. Fourth is the orbital pointer. It is designed to mark the anterior reference point infraorbital notch. It is present only in arbitrary phase bore. As we can see, this is the orbital pointer. Okay. Then this orbital pointer is adjusted at the infraorbital notch of the patient, which is palpated through the skin. Then when we are transferring, then this orbital pointer actually coincides with the orbital indicator of the articulator. So when these both flush at a point, then mounting is done. Fourth is the nasal pointer. So in some phase bores, we have this nasal pointers. This nasal pointer fits into the nasion. As you can see, this is the nasion, which is a depression present below both the eyebrows in the center. Okay, so this is the nasion. So some phase bores use orbital as the reference point, like in case of Hanau wide view, and some uses like this nasal pointer as in case of whip mix. So this is the third reference point. It varies from phase bores to phase bores, and the articulator depends on it. Then next is the classification of phase bore. Phase bore is classified into arbitrary or kinematic phase bores. Arbitrary is again divided into fascia and earpiece. Then the fascia or the earpiece, they can use this nasal relator or an orbital indicator. As I told you earlier, they can be a nasal pointer or a orbital. Next is arbitrary phase bore. The hinge axis is approximately located in type of phase bore. As the name suggests, arbitrary, it means random. The hinge axis is not so accurate, it's approximately located. The hinge axis lies within a range of 5 millimeter. As the located hinge axis is arbitrary, occlusal discrepancies produced in the denture can be corrected by minute occlusal adjustment during insertion. Okay, then it has two types, fascia and earpiece. Let's discuss the fascia before. The fascia type of phase bore utilizes approximate points on the skin over the temporomandibular region as the posterior reference point. As you can see, these are the posterior, this is the posterior reference point, and the fascia, it touches this point. The disadvantage of using fascia is that because the skin over this place is movable, so the discrepancy can be seen in the fascia type. Next is the earpiece type. The ear phase bore has ear plugs at the condylar ends of the phase bore. As you can see, this is at the condylar end, we have this plugs. These plugs fit into the external auditory meatus. They give sufficiently accurate relationship for most diagnostic and restorative procedures, and these ear phase bore techniques has clear advantages over the most widely used method of arbitrary. Next is the kinematic phase bore. The kinematic phase bore is more accurate than the arbitrary phase bore. It is designed so that the opening axis of the mandible can be located more accurately. As you can see, this phase bore has a stylus attached to it, and over here is a graph or grid. So this is a kind of tracing which takes place, and it's much more accurate than the arbitrary phase bore. But then it has its own limitations. Let's see its indications. The indication is when there is critical need to precisely reproduce the exact opening and closing movement of the patient to the articulator. And the drawbacks are extensive chairside procedure and expensive instrumentation. So it's really indicated for routine articulators with prosthodontic procedure because very expensive and chairside time is also increased. Next is points of reference. So as we have discussed, there are like 3 points of reference, 1 anterior and 2 posterior. The maxillary cast in the articulator is the baseline form from which all occlusal relationships start, and it should be positioned in space by identifying 3 points. There are 3 points, 2 points located posterior to the maxilla and 1 point located anterior to them. Anterior reference point. First is the orbital. In the skull, the orbital is the lowest point on the infraorbital rim. On a patient, it can be palpated through the overlying tissues in the skin. You can see this O position mark. This is the orbital. One orbital and the 2 posterior points that determine the horizontal axis of rotation will define the axis orbital plane. So this is the axis orbital plane in which we have the orbital over here and the posterior reference point over here. We'll discuss the posterior reference point in the next slides. This is the posterior reference points. Over here we can see this is the orbital pointer in the face bow, which coincides with the orbital indicator in the articulator. And this is how we just match the point of reference so that the accurate mounting could take place. Second is the nasion. This is another landmark which can be approximately located in the head at the deepest part of the midline depression just below the level of the eyebrows. You can see this is the nasion, and this is how the face fits into the nasion, into the depression. There's a concavity which fills into this. It is mostly used in the Whip-Mix articulators. Now let's see the posterior reference point. Their posterior reference points are mainly 2, the Bergstrom point and the Bayron point. The Bergstrom point, as we can see, is indicated by A. A Bergstrom point is a point 10 millimeter anterior. You can see that it's 10 millimeter anterior to the centrospherical insert, where we insert the earpiece. Center of spherical insert for the external acoustic meatus, and it is 7 mm below the Frankfurt horizontal plane. Beck stated that it lies close to hinge axis. That means it is more accurate. Then what is Frankfurt horizontal plane? Frankfurt horizontal plane connects lowest point of orbital and the superior point of external acoustic meatus. As you can see over here, this is the Frankfurt horizontal plane. This is the lowest point of the orbit and the superior point of the external acoustic meatus. Second point of posterior point of reference is Bayron's point, a point 13 millimeter anterior to the posterior margin of the tragus. Now you can see this B is the Bayron's point. It is located 13 millimeter anterior to the posterior margin of the tragus on a line from the center of the tragus to the outer canthus of the eye. So these two are the points, posterior points of reference. Bergstrom point is more accurate. Now the question arises, how helpful is face bow? A face bow registers in 3 planes, anterior, posteriorly, laterally and vertically, the position of the maxilla in all 3 planes in relation to the cranium. So it helps in just replicating the opening axis of the jaws as in the patient's mouth and transfer it and replicate it in the articulator. So you can see the preoperative status showing disharmony between interpupillary and incisal line planes, but when we record all the planes properly using the face bow, you can see the postoperative status showing coincidence between the interpupillary and the incisal plane lines. So here we can see the difference, how a face bow helps in rehabilitating. The planes are properly recorded, the spatial relationship is properly recorded. So this is how it helps. So unsatisfactory maxillomandibular relationship, if face bow not recorded in complicated cases, will lead to failure of the complete dentures, necessitate time-consuming chairside occlusal adjustment and costly repairs, because then the exact hinge axis will not be replicated, needing more chairside time. So face bow transfer is mostly done in procedures where more precision is required, because some time is taken in face bow transfer. So especially in cases like balanced occlusion, incomplete dentures, full mouth rehabilitation, cases where anterior guidance is to be customized, cases in which cuspal form of teeth are to be used, and other cases which require more precision, face bow is done. So this is all about face bows. Thank you everyone for watching this video.